Triple D versus... How does a new pack come out and you're still on this? How many months has it been now? You can't move on from freaking Maliss?
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
And we're under Shifter. Oh gosh. We can't use the Grave. Asim, are you good? Dark Contract with the search of Kepler. Dark Contract will be further searching our deck for the Queen. We're going to use Griffin, special summon itself onto the field to link to, as all of our cards are getting banished. They're not even going to the extra deck. What the heck? We can't rependulum them out. Machine X pass? I think so. No. Banish the March Hare, add back to the hand here. Now, the Machine X can suck you up twice, double the suckage. Every time an opponent's monster activates, you don't negate it, but you will detach two materials or you will destroy a face-up contract to suck them up as a material. And that's going to be pop this to suck once, then you'll have two materials to then suck a second time. So we have two sucks and an Ash Blossom plus a super polymerization. Not so bad. And thanks to your own dimensional shifter, you cannot finger my Ash. It's going to dodge the Grave. Let's see. Lingeribo to stop my Super Poly, right? Surely, as March Hare adds back, you can't even Splash Mage the March Hare back out. You're gonna have to go through your Link 3 through this way, sure. Once something, if the White Binder activates, we're gonna suck her up. That's it. And knowing that, we're going into an Access Code Talker, which will trigger the White Binder on the initial Link summon. The Access Code Talker cannot be chained to, unfortunately. And it also chain link blocks the White Binder from the Ash Blossom even being used on it. These are some great plays. But we're gonna Super Poly it away. Not today. Got him. Garura is mine. Set that call by the Grave. Asim, you should now win this. That's it. You win, right? We're gonna be burning for 1,000 every standby phase, of course. We're gonna use the Arthros to wipe away the back row card. Straight to the battle phase. Because we can't Pendulum Summon. I mean, what can we freaking do? We have no disruption on the field. Our disruption is just the Ash Blossom and the Impulse. The Machine X actually does nothing. Let's see if that's enough. Impulse is great. You can't Impulse nor Ash a Gold Sark play. Now we're at 500 life, meaning we can only activate a small Maliss once. That's it, one time. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna banish a Dormouse, Dormouse comes out, it banishes something, then it can't even activate. You're gonna have to go for like the White Rabbit right away. White Rabbit, yep, that's the correct play. Can't Impulse this. Summon, set from the deck, GWC, which could get Impulsed. There we freaking go. Impulse negate, that is a GG no re to game 2. Well done. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't see Triple D make great plays because of the Dimension Shifter, which is fine. Special the Terratop does not activate to special summon, thus you can't chain Max C before it's summoned. We know the Tecton board will be special summoned, so we're going to be using the Max C before then. We didn't Ash onto the Terratop, searching for the Tecton board, as we are coping that the Max C would be good enough. And then from here, we just have to deal with an Ash Blossom. Well, you can't Ash the Cherubini. It's a cost to send the Dormouse. And so what the combo here so far is, this is a Terratop plus any other monster in normal summon. Your Fool loss ideally, well, maybe we could Ash here. Nope, still can't Ash. We're completely playing through Ash. The final choke point of our Ash was onto the Terratop. He's scooping. Because he didn't Ash the Terratop, he was hoping that the Maxi would be good enough. Wow. Damn. Damn. All right, let's go into game 3. Terratop for the win. Start the Queen, activate the Queen, play from the deck the Dark Contract of the Zero King. You do want to Ash this, definitely. Ash your Impulse, call by the Grave Finger, and now we have the full 1 card uninterrupted combo. How many forms of disruption will we end on? We should have many. Let's see. We'll be successfully destroying the Queen to special summon the Kepler from the deck. Kepler is going to be searching for a Dark Contract, another one to then further search our deck. This play, unfortunately, does play into a Drone Lockbird. We're using up our normal summon on the Coper, which will be sending from the deck the Lance Soldier, destroying a Dark Contract to Reborn from the graveyard. activating to change its level to perform a new rank 4 Xyz to search our deck for a double D card. We're gonna grab our double D Griffin here, further make a King Tail, which is now a Foolish Burial after we link it off into the Gilgamesh. This is also a good way to chain link block your Gilgamesh. Let's say if they have a Herald of Arc Light or they have a Baron to Floor in the field and you're going second, you chain link block it with the King Tail. King Tail, send from the deck here. We now have the Necro Slime Diffusion Summon, setting up double Pendulum Scale, special summon the double D Griffin to further link off into the triple D Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. Now, once you get to this card and you have a contract in the graveyard plus another double D, you're good. Because it says when your opponent activates a Nibiru in their hand, you can negate the activation of that Nibiru. Any monster effect active from the hand will be negated for the rest of the turn. That's it. It's too late to use a Nibiru. As you now make a Wave King Caesar, we're not done. We have to make more plays, right? Where's the rank 4 Xyz to search for the Dark Contract Trap? We have the Divisor King Machine X. So here's what I would say. You special summon the Scale Surveyor, make it level 4, right? And then Griffin plus the Surveyor for this one. Wait, you don't play it. Huh? Wait, we take it out? We don't play the rank 4 that searches? Okay, despite not having the trap, we still have a great field. We have negate anything that activates in the hand, which Marshmallow activates in the hand. That way, if you're playing against Yummy, you can negate that. This will be able to suck up a monster not once, but twice. This will negate any spell and trap card. This will double negate a special summon effect. So we're up to 6 disruptions with just triple D. And on top of the, we have a Droll and Lockbird and an Ash Blossom. 8 forms of disruption. Let's go. 8 mates. If they activate Abyssal from the hand, we can negate that. Negate the Allure of Darkness with the Siegfried. All right. Get ready to get sucked. And activate Dormouse, you suck her up. Now, it has to be on the field, of course. Gold Sark is going to be activating effect especially. You negate this away with King Caesar very easily. Great negate, mate. Negate it. We have 6 more disruptions to play through. This is the end of Maliss. Backup Ignister. Yoink, suck up that backup. You still get the effect, sure. We're now down to 5 forms of disruption. Got the White Rabbit to discard it. But what are we going to do? If we Magnum Hut, the Wave King Caesar can negate, or we could use the Zeus to instead negate it. The Wizard also can be negated by the Zeus. Only one of them can be negated. And to even activate this, you have to control a Cyburst that was summoned from the extra deck. Check freaking mate. Droll and Lockbird. Magnum Hut with 2 different cards to stop it. Either or. Negate. Now, it does keep the card in hand. It does not destroy it. That's fine. It's a hard once per turn activation. And then the Wizard can't even activate. And if it could, the Wave King Caesar would negate and destroy. We still had a Suck. We still had an Ash Blossom. Very well done. Magnum Hut with the Cope, Wave King Caesar. Negate the Bestial. Not today. And there you have it. Triple freaking D. You saw the 1-card combo play where he's not playing the trap search. You could call the trap a brick if you don't want to be playing that, which I guess that's the case for him. He does not want the additional trap search. Now, if people in the TCG, people are more likely to be playing board breakers because of side deck, and a good board breaker would be something like Dark World or No More. So the higher importance there would be in response to a Dark World or No More, you flip up the trap, then you change Siegfried to your own trap to negate the Dark World or No More. But even with Dark World or No More being good against Yummy, I don't really think people are going to be main decking it. Good job, Triple D. Begin. Kepler met with the Impermanence, cross out Designate, negate the Impermanence, mate, and you could now see full Triple D combo uninterrupted normal summon Kepler. Now things are going to be a little bit different because we have the Cope already in the hand. Let's see. Dark Contract at the gate. We're going to want a way to make a link to mate. We're going to grab the Queen, which will summon a monster from the deck. A good monster to summon from the deck would be the Cope. Now, since we already have the Cope in hand, we're going to special summon a Count Surveyor to search our deck for a Scale Surveyor. As we now make our link to Gilgamesh, which you would usually use the Imperm on. We got our double scale here, special summon our Scale Surveyor. We're going to pop ourself plus the Dark Contract, and the Dark Contract being destroyed with the effect of the Orthros will trigger the Queen to summon, then destroy itself, to then place itself in a pendulum scale. And as soon as we make the Link 3, that's it. With the Dark Contract in the grave, we can negate a Nibiru. We have the Cope on summon, Foolish Barreling from the deck, as we now make a rank 4 to search our deck for any monster we want. The Lance Soldier will destroy a Dark Contract to reborn itself from engrave. We have King Tell, an additional Foolish Burial. There's 2 good cards you want in the graveyard, the Lance Soldier and the Necro Slime. We're going to use the effect of the Ragnarok to reborn the Lance Soldier instead of destroying the Dark Contract, as we now make the first King Clovis to reborn the monster back onto the field. Special summon our Griffin. We're going to use the Link 3 to pop away the King Tell to perform a Foolish Burial, and now we can additionally Pendulum Summon again. As we now make the Siegfried spell and trap card negate, Necro Slime going into the Alfred, which then goes into Genghis. Without this, you'd go right into Genghis, so this is the brand new edition that not even the TCG has access to. We are not even triggering the Genghis before we rank it off into a Way of King Caesar because we have that many cards. And now we have the rank 4 play, get it into the graveyard for a Link 2, trigger its effect to search for a Disruption. Or I guess the Disruption is this card. We already have it in our hand. We don't need to search it. And just like that, we have the Deus King Machine X with a follow-up play. We did have an option to give this more sucks, but it's not that crazy. If you were to, instead of make the Link 2, then go into this, use the rank 4 to go straight into this, then it could do a bit more suckage. So we do have the Floodgate where they're not able to use the field for Fusion Synchro or Xyz. They also can't use Imperm onto any of these monsters. We have 2 special summon negates. We can negate a spell and trap card. We can negate a monster effect activating from the hand. That would be something like Engraver. This would be Marshmallow, Engraver, from what I'm seeing in our deck real quick. And we also got 2 sucks. Suck, negate from the hand, double special summon negate, and the Siegfried spell and trap card negate. He doesn't even want to play? What the? Okay, Abdullah is out. Senjin into the back row, special summon, as we're going to be chaining a Maxi to B. We do have Crossout Designate. And then just like that, undisrupted Senjin Millennium play. What does that turn into? I mean, we're playing Yummy right now. This is a Yummy deck. What's going on, Millennium? We're already playing Millennium? All right. The Millennium play is here. Well, if at any point you have 2 cards can bridge into your deck, then I guess you play Millennium. Camellia is any 2 bodies goes into a full Yummy combo. Camellia is going to send a Hornet Drones from the deck to the grave, as we now link this off in a Kagari. TCG does not have Camellia, so that's why you're probably not familiar with this card being used. Hornet Drones, special summon, and now we officially go into the Yummy play. Now, generally, you don't want to Imperm or Veiler this, but whenever they summon this, you look in their graveyard. If they don't have a single Yummy card, you want to Imperm or Veiler this. Searching for our Cupsy Yummy plus our Marshmallow. We have not committed to our normal summon yet. Discard away the extra Senjin, special summon the Cupsy. Searching for our Yummy Surprise. Let's now link off the Synchro into a Snatchy, which could perform a Synchro. This will be activating to play from the deck the Minion, which could reborn a monster from the grave. Special summon the Marshmallow Yummy. Further go into Lollipo, reborn 2 bodies from engrave. They will be negated though, as we further make our Sprite Elf mate. Sprite Elf is going to be reborning from the graveyard. We're going to Yummy Surprise, and then Nibiru. Marshmallow, add back Yummy Surprise. No Nibiru from Sync, as we further go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. Requiem is here. Let's Minion reborn from the graveyard our Marshmallow. Requiem's going to further special summon from the deck. We have Crimson Tears and Engraver here, as we now hard go right into the Herald of Arc Light. Now, a lot of you could be thinking, what the heck, that's an unoptimal Arc Light. Well, in the Fiendsmith version of the deck, you don't have room for Metal Marcher or the Sorrow Cat, so you do have to unfortunately go just straight into a 3-body Herald of Arc Light. We have an Omni-Negate Untargetable mate, and the Way of King Caesar. So what does this mean for Triple D? Any monster from the hand or main deck is banished instead, and we can negate 2 special summons as long... So could this negate the Zero King card? Because what's going to happen is this will grab from the deck the Zero King. If Konami properly updated this, they did. It can't negate this. And this is what you want to negate, because it's a card that's already face up on the field, and Wave King Caesar can only negate the activation of the card, not the activation of the effect. But they do have Ogre. And boy, do I hope does this not catch on, because that's not cool. I don't want to play Triple D against this. So what do we have here? We have negate anything, negate 2 special summons, impermanence, ogre. We also have Yummy Surprise return cards. It's going to be so difficult to count up the disruptions with Yummy because it's as super theoretical as the Elf reborns the Synchro. They activate something, you chain the Synchro, reborn, and then from there, you're going to be able to flip cards face down, pop a card. I guess up to 8 disruptions. Let's see. We do have Called By now. Called By onto the Snatchy is a big one. Imperm, negate the Kepler Mate, and as soon as we can with the Sprite Elf, we're going to be reborning the Lollipo to ensure that we could respond to them activating anything. So we can reborn 2 bodies. Even using Called By on that potentially could have been a good idea, but we do know he has the Yummy Surprise to play around the Called By, and this is where they could Ogre. Instead of Ogreing, we're going to use the Lollipo. Lollipo is going to chain to the Dark Contract. Now, it's not the Zero King one that would summon for the deck, so maybe we're saving the Ghost Ogre for that instead. Now we have the Cupsy on summon, randomly drawing into a hand trap that's not good, as we now, in response to another activation, further reborn 2 bodies from Engrave. So this could be a good mindset to have if you're a Yummy player, to hold this at the last possible moment to play around Call by the Grave to the best of your ability. And now we're going to Pendulum Summon out in response, Snatchy synchroing into Cookie Yummy Way. Flip 2 bodies on the field face down, and that's enough to scoop it. What the? All right. Well, Cookie putting in work. Flip them. We had so much more disruption. Herald of Arclight and the Wave King Caesar being completely untargetable is very much annoying, I'd say. Let's go to game 3. We're gonna start this off with a set pass. What the heck was that Triple D? Now, I do want to note something of relevance here. He had an Ogre in his hand, but also a Herald on the field. So you have to remember that this card goes both ways. Also, your own monsters sent from the hand to the graveyard will be banished instead, which means you can't even activate Maxi if you have a Herald on the freaking field. You also can't use your Ogre. Your Ogre's no good. Your Maxi's no good. I believe Droll Knockbird also needs to be sent to the graveyard. I have to double read it. So a lot of your own hand traps potentially get turned off by having the Herald on field. So do take note of that. Now, Sync has his own Maxi to hopefully protect him, but he does have an Ash Negate. Let's go, mate. And oh boy, think about this against Dracotail. Against Dracotail, you have an Elf protecting the Herald, and all of your fusion summon materials are getting banished, so they're not triggering. You activate a Dracotail trap, we could purge it. You activate a Dracotail trap, we could Ash it. You activate a Dracotail trap, we could Ogre it if you want to maximize your anti-Dracotail cards within your main deck of Yummy. Oh my Jesus. Maxi, Ash, negate. Hornet Drones is full combo mate, but now we have to deal with the Call by the Grave. Finger our Ash, and the Maxi's now resolved. Maxi does punish the Hornet play, where it is obviously much better if you could just have a normal summon Yummy, Snatchy with the field spell, but 2 draws so far, and then we're gonna have a 3rd draw. Then what, we're gonna have a 4th draw. They're gonna draw 4 times just for you to perform a Yummy play? What can I do, Decade? I gotta do it, right? He's gotta do this. 4 draws. Now he can normal summon the Cupsy. He does not have to further special summon, but he may want to go for a 1-turn kill play. Maybe. Cupsy search for, he's going for it, right? Yummy, Snatchy, or at least committing to this then ending, so we're at 5 draws. Every light beast is plus 500 attack. 5,900, 9,400. He has drawn 6 times. Is it 6 or 7? I lost count. Lethal damage. Oh my Jesus, taking the Maxi challenge. Oh boy. Yummy's here. Yummy's top tier. Let's go. Mimighoul is finally top tier. We are going to be revealing, putting onto the opponent's side of the field, an Archfiend as we add our Mimighoul Dragon. Mimighoul Dragon is going to add a Mimighoul spell and trap card from our deck to our hand here. Let's play up our Mimighoul Dungeon. With the dungeon, we're going to be further searching for our Mimighoul Fairy. And just like that, we can go into full Yummy if we want to. Ripple Bird? What the? Target a monster on the field, changes battle position, flip it up, trigger the effect to Ash Negate. I don't think so, mate. You apply these effects in sequence. Your opponent draws 1, which would be the Mimighoul player. And then you also give control of this card. And you'd also have to send 1 card from your hand to the grave. We're now going to make a Gravity Controller, Link 1, which is our level 1 tuner. Yummy Snatchy is going to be activating to play away our field spell, as we now have the minion instead to reborn back onto the field our level 1 Yummy. Synchro this off into our Cupsy Yummy Way. Femina is not going to be making any play. A Fiend and a Fairy, what the heck is that going to make? It's not a Dragon or a Spellcaster. Special summoning the Cupsy, further searching for the surprise. Lollipo is here on summon, reborn up to 2 bodies from Engrave. Now, we're going to triple tactics, thrust into our hand a talent. With the talent, we are going to try to look at your hand as he just surrenders. Nope, you are not taking a gander at my hand. Key 2, come to me, Lucius. Now, what they have is, they have quite a lot. They have our Fool Loss, we have Max C. Now, before you boo the Dimensional Barrier, I can assure you it's only because we're playing Thrust, since Thrust synergizes with Mimighoul, and it's only if they max see you, then okay, I deserve to set a Dimensional Barrier for my deck, right? What's fair is fair. You want to skip my turn, I skip your turn, then it goes right back to me. Let's make Dracotail Arthalion. Holy draw 2 thanks to the Fool Loss and Max C. We should be done special summoning. That's it. Once we resolve these 2, we'll set our 3rd trap. And I guess a Rahu for the next turn, potentially. We're not going to use it right now. And we don't play 3 traps. Huh. Okay, no Banish in the Grave. We have Return back a monster, negate a spell. We have Fusion Summon with the Femina, triple Disruption, plus draw 2. What you got? Off the top of the deck, another brick. I mean, these are a bunch of bricks. Brick it up. Mimighoul Maker, put onto their side of the field the Mimighoul Archfiend. We felt that was not valuable enough to use our Flame to negate. As we use up our normal summon on the Mimighoul Dragon, searching for our dungeon, special summon the Fairy. Let's now turn this into the Ripple Bird to flip up the Mimighoul Archfiend. Activate, put into Defense Mate, flip it up. We now have to force the opponent to discard a card, we draw a card, and then we take control of the Mimighoul Archfiend. We're now going to special summon the Dragon onto their side of the field. Ripple Bird again? More than once per turn? What the heck? Destroy all face-up other cards, and then return the control to the original owner. Let's make a Gravity Controller. Femina can't fuse now. We lost our fusion material. What the heck? We have to draw into a monster. If we don't draw into a monster, we're in big trouble. Now, thankfully, the Snatchy has to go in attack position. It is a Link monster, thus we will be able to horn something. Unless they make a Herald of Arclight before we horn? What the heck? Now they're gonna negate horn? Okay, that's a problem. Well, we have to flame something, but what if Drex doesn't play a spell? As long as the Herald of Arclight pins down the horn and we don't play a spell, we played a spell, well, that was going to be the play to ensure that Femina could not fuse into anything. Arclight, negate, the Dracotail Flame Mate, be gone. All right, very well. As we from here will reborn our level 1 Yummy. Now, there's something you do want to consider. This is not a quick effect, it's not a trigger effect, and it does require you to control a Link 1 monster. So if we were in a scenario where we did not wait for them to activate the field spell, and we flamed it preemptively, and the Herald would negate it, we could have then used Horn to return the Link 1 back to the extra deck, and then the minion has nothing to special summon. And they already used up their normal summon. They have a cookie in the hand that can't special summon. Now, they do have Yummy Surprise, which is what they'd have to default to play through that play. Return away the Arthalion back into the extra deck through the Lollipo Yummy. Yummy Surprise, reborn from Engrave. We're still waiting with the Dracotail Horn as we add back our Yummy Surprise. Further activating Yummy Surprise. It is activatable more than once per turn. We're going to be returning back the Snatchy on field. So both of these Snatchies are going to, on the resolution of this chain, be returned back to the hand. We're going to sync our way at least one of them. Well, this one will be returned back. I think we messed up. We don't want this to be returned back because now they get to draw a card. You could have denied them from drawing a card. Only if they return you back to the extra deck do you get to draw a card, and you're allowing it to be returned back with the Horn. And now the Femina is still dead because we didn't draw a monster. All right, it worked out. It's not a misplay if you still win. Lollipo, reborn back onto the field. Got him. Wait, that's 2-0. Mimighoul, let's go. All right, let's keep on going. Piri Reese map. We're going to be searching for a card we have to normal summon. We are going to be able to negate anything. We could return 2 cards back to the hand. We could destroy a card in the field with the other field spell. We could flip 2 cards on the field face down. We could use Cookie to destroy a card in the field. Now, you may be thinking, he doesn't have Cookie. Well, what you do is you make a new Cupsy Yummy way, search for a Cookie, discard the Cookie, then activate a Synchro in response to them activating something to then Cookie pop a card, right? All right, so about 5 disruptions. Sulfa Chord Happiness, we are negating that, and it's not a hard once return, just another copy we could activate. Are you kidding me, mate? Call to the Grave attempting to finger the Herald of Arc Light, which it will go through. That's it. Negate you, as we're now going to search for 2 cards and then special summon a Sulfa Chord. This is a big play to go through. Now, the Cupsy could randomly draw into a hand trap here, potentially. As we discard Cookie Yummy on resolution, not a cost. Grab 2 Sulfa Chords, special summon one of them. And wait, you can special summon both of them? What the heck? I thought it was just one. Add 2, and then, oh, it's up to the number of monsters your opponent controls +1. So if you're going first, you just summon 1. But if you're going second, you get to additionally summon the other one. What the heck? Chainlink blocked the Promoa from searching our deck, as we also have the Cutia further searching from the deck. The Cupsy Yummy is going to randomly draw into a hand trap potentially. Purge. That does work. We're ready to get purging. We do now have the Yummy field spell, which will ensure that a card on the field will be destroyed if we synchro, which will trigger right now. If we want to, we're going to flip 2 cards on the field face down, flip them, not trigger the field spell, save that for later. In response to Cupsy, we are not going to jump off the field. Instead, we want to purge it with our newly drawn card. And now for the rest of the duel, Sprite Elf cannot activate, but it still has the continuous effect of pointing to make cards untargetable. Yummy Snatchy, in response to you playing a field spell from the deck, we're going to be returning ourselves back into the extra deck as we reborn from the graveyard. Now, I was talking about if this is hard once per turn or not. You could only use each effect once per turn. So the first effect, even if its activation is negated, you're still using it. So you can't activate this more than once no matter what. Play our own minion field spell. We're going to use the Lollipo to banish a card from the grave. We're now going to Snatchy to trigger our field spell to likely pop away their field spell. Our Cupsy could search for a Cookie to then discard, giving us another disruption as we take out the field spell. What? No way. You had it. Cupsy, search Cookie, discard, field spell, take out the minion so he can't reborn from the grave. Oh my Jesus, what happened? Well, you ran out of time. Okay. Cupsy Yummy, come to me, Cookie. We do have Ash Blossom. So I think a big question is going to be, do you save Ash for the Cupsy, which can be a really good idea? It's a +1 body in the field plus a form of disruption, or do you stop them from searching for 2 cards? I think in most cases, ashing onto the Cupsy, even if they have bodies in the graveyard to chain Reborn, even though he's choosing to not do that, they do not get to search. But they're going to obviously play through that very easily. They already have the Yummy Surprise. In this instance, the Ash was just no good no matter when we used it. And now we have the Yummy Surprise, Reborn back, the Marshmallow, add back the Yummy Surprise. Gara should be setting up the way to go into a Borreload Savage Dragon during the opponent's turn to give us that additional negate. Now, I think there's some discussion within the community. Is the Borreload win more? Is it needed? If you're able to summon this, is it in a duel that you're definitely going to win anyway? That's something we definitely do want to look into in today's event. Now, with this field, we have negate anything, return 2 cards back, negate an interaction with the deck, negate an interaction with the deck again, but just a search. We could pop a card with the field spell. We could flip 2 cards face down. We could pop with the Cookie, and about 7 disruption. Let's go. Pop, pop, flip, spin. All right. In response to the Marshmallow, we're going to be reborning our Cupsy Yummy to ensure that we can activate it in response to any play the opponent makes. Do take note. We summoned a Snatchy, and it asked him, do you want to play a field spell from the deck? He said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to make other plays first. In response to the Primora, or to search our deck, we're going to be using the Synchro to reborn 2 bodies. And I talked about this. The Ghost Bell being an opportunity to randomly negate a Synchro trying to reborn from the graveyard. It's going to catch people off guard. And in this case, this Ghost Bell is so good that it's worth negating with the Herald of Arc Light. Negate. And mind you, the Ghost Bell can still be used with the Herald of Arc Light on the field. Obviously, as you saw, it does get banished, so it plays around a Call by the Grave thanks to Herald. Reborn onto the field, the Cookie Yummy. So we're now down to 6 disruption. Ramoa is going to be searching for another copy of Happiness as the Snatchy triggers to play the field spell that pops. The Cookie is activating to wipe away the Snatchy as we also chain the Yummy Surprise. Now you could be thinking, this should never be the higher chain link than the Snatchy. It's not. You could chain Snatchy to the Yummy because the effect of Snatchy here is playing the field spell. So we are playing this correctly. Let's bounce it back. There we go. Very well done here. Going into the Lollipo. Bounce away their fields. We also very likely have a Borreload Savage Dragon play. Let's reborn 2 bodies. They will be negated. No good. Sulfur Happiness. Purge is going to negate. You used the effect. It's not a cost to discard, but since you used the effect, you can't use the other one for the same effect, unfortunately. In response to a Pendulum Scale, we're going to return back the Lollipo. Boy, Gera is having revenge after that timeout victory, or what? The untargetable Snatchy is here. We are going to be using the Cups Yummy, randomly drawing into a hand trap that's no good, obviously. And that is that. 1-1. Only Yummy games today? No, we had some Triple D. Triple D did put up a good show. Ash, negate the Maxi. Mate, we did not bait with the Fool Loss first. You what, mate? Okay. Now we're going to Fool Loss before we link ones. And we're still going to commit to that link 1. Yummy Snatchy into potentially Imperm negate. No negate, mate. Special summon from the hand of the Lollipo for the reborn from the graveyard. All of these additional special summons where the Fool Loss does not give that draw. Now, with this field, we could still perform many great plays. We could still pop. We could pop again with the Cookie and the field spell. We could flip 2 cards face down. We have the Purge. We have the Ghost Spell. Imperm in the draw phase. We lose everything. That's it. All of those disruptions are completely gone. Purge and Ghost Spell is all we have. Now, they're quite large and in charge thanks to the Minion, boosting them up by plus 1,500. Oh boy. You better hope Ghost Spell could stop his play. And what is relevant to stop with Ghost Spell? I guess you can save this for Lollipo? Trying to reborn 2 monsters from the graveyard? Is that what you do? Negating a Minion seems kind of weak. No, negating a surprise for 1. Lollipo 2 bodies is maybe the best you could do. Let's find out. And that's it. This is what we can negate. But then if you negate it, it just jumps off and summons 2 bodies in the grave anyway. Look at that boost. 17,000 damage. Now, it keeps on dropping because, wait, it's boosting for both fields? Yummy control for every light beast on the field, including the opponents. What the? That's crazy. Not enough for game. Little Knight, main phase 2. Banish away the Minion. Further link this up into our Elf. Elf is going to be reborning our Synchro ready. Wow, like we just didn't even use Bell. I guess we're just using Bell in response to the Synchro in response to another card. Wow. Well, what did you all learn? You learned to have your toggle on within the draw phase with the proper duel settings, so it's automatic. You don't have to jump out of your chair to make sure you do it in response. And then in the draw phase, Imperm negate the Snatchy. Now, is that definitive? It's not, because they're likely going to have another Snatchy in the grave to reborn with their surprise, to reborn with the Synchro that they'll likely also already have on the field. They may even have the Snatchy be untargetable thanks to the Sprite Elf. So there are a lot of ways to play around Imperm to show that Imperm does not definitively beat it, but at the right moment, it can. Aramasa searching for our Futsu, Habakiri, some for the deck Saji. On the effect of the Saji, this is where you ash. You ash negate that. You don't ash the Aramasa, you don't ash the Habakiri. So there was 2 ashes we passed on to then correctly ash. You impulse the Mitsurugi ritual if they are having access to it. We're now going to be searching our deck for the Hallowed Azamina. Futsu being tributed is going to trigger to, even though it's not even a chance to reborn from the graveyard, Konami says you could still Ghost Spell because it's a graveyard effect with an effect that includes a special summon. Even though it can't special summon, you're negated. We're going to Impulse, negate the Hallowed Azamina from sending the Sinful Spoil, which will give us combo extending into a big play, into also giving us another Omni Negate. With that gone, what are we left with? The Great Purification is dead, right? You have to tribute a level 5 or higher reptile to negate something. We don't have that. We have nothing. 0. Nada. And we have just the Dark Contract should be full combo. Let's go. Dark Contract to the gate for the triple D0 Queen. Mate activate to play onto the field our Dark Contract to the 0 King. Pop the Queen, summon the Coper. Coper's going to send for the deck the Lance Soldier. Lance Soldier's going to pop the Dark Contract to Reborn. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. Trigger the Queen to summon itself onto the field here. Destroy any card in the field, taking out that Great Purification. As the Lance Soldier now turns itself into a level 4 to now make the King Solomon to search our deck for any double D. Come forth Kepler. As we now further make a King Tell, which will be a Foolish Burial after we link it off into a Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is going to be playing 2 Pendulum Scales as the King Tell sends from the deck to the grave our Necroslime to Fusion Summon. Griffin will destroy itself to make room for our Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. Kepler searching for another Dark Contract as we further link this up into the Ragnarok, which can now negate anything activated from the hand. If you're holding on to Nibiru, it's gone. Let's banish the fuse into an Alfred. Alfred will return the banished cards back to further fuse into a Genghis. Brand new card does not exist in the TCG. Trigger the Ragnarok, reborn back on the field the Lance Soldier. Genghis trigger, reborn the Coper. As we further turn these 2 bodies into the King Clovis. Clovis could reborn from the grave or banishment, come back onto the field our King Tell as we now make a wave King Caesar. 9,000 damage on the field. We're going to keep on building as we now make the Machine X 10,000 damage. You got the Purification engraved to reborn, then tribute this. It's not even a big deal. Don't worry about it. If this activates, I could suck it up if you don't Chain Link block it, which you could have. Wipe it out. No piercing damage, obviously. Now, this is 7,000 damage. Not enough for game. It's also half the damage. So do remember this. The lingering effect is half of the damage you're dealing this turn if you triggered this. So you do want to be careful when you're going second to maybe not even activate this. Griffin searching for a Necro Slime, which I guess, does that mean Shaka was baited into using the Purification thinking he had lethal when he didn't? Normal, the Fua loss. Let's further make our Typhon. Typhon to battle. Now, the Machine X cannot give you the good suck. The Wave King Caesar, when sent to the grave, will search for a Dark Contract. Let's non-target return back the Link 3 as we now can safely activate anything we want from the hand, but it's once per duel. We already used it. It's gone. It's done. It's over. Now, 3,000 or more still cannot activate, and this is it. Holy moly. The King Arc Crisis, which cannot activate, it is going to be prevented due to the Typhon. It can still attack in every monster on the field, and it will still trigger after destroying this by battle. Now it's no longer continuously affecting us. We're going to be able to burn for 29 lethal damage. Let's go. Now, it can attack everybody on the field. Even if there's a Typhon, it does not stop that effect. Attack, 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 attack. That was game 3? What the heck? What the swag key was that? We're ending on Valor, Bell, and Max C. Can we play through double hand trap and then, of course, the effect of Max freaking C? Do we minimally make a play? Do we go all the way? We are committing to a special summon here. We can't call it off. The Fiend. How crazy are you? Are you going to end early, or are you going to end this duel early? Valor onto the Coper. The Foolish Burial effect is now gone. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. Let's see if we can continue. He is special summoning. He does not care. Drawing into an impermanence. Now, this is an effect to search our deck for any double D card. We're going to imperm negate, and we have even more hand traps. We have Bell. We have Droll. We have the Herald of Orange Light to negate and destroy any monster effect. Further going into a King Tail. Now, this is very important. You'll be thinking you should chainlink block the King Tail because they're rarely, like, what are you chainlink blocking Gilgamesh from? Pretty much nothing, right? No one's playing Gamma. It's only if they have a Baron to floor on the field that you actually chainlink block this. Well, we are in that really rare scenario where it's better to chainlink block the Gilgamesh because they have a Herald of freaking Orange Light. Do we randomly do that? Well, we don't even get to that point. He didn't even wait. You know, Swag Key probably identifying that he does have the opportunity to chainlink block the Link 2, and I'm not going to risk it. Machine X is here. Machine X has a lot of sucking. How much sucking is this? In response to monster activating, we could suck 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 times, I think. I don't know. Someone do the math for me. And then we could also Impulse and Bell. So this is like 7 disruptions somehow. Okay. So much suck. But the Imperm off the top of the deck negates all of that suck. We don't have to deal 8,000 damage here. If we deal 6,000, we win. Because the Dark Contract's going to burn for 2k during the next standby phase. Bell, negate, the couplet. No summon for you. As we now set up our Pendulum Scale, further searching for the Concerto, activate Concerto. I don't think so. You will not be fusion summoning as we negate. Can we further play through this? We already committed to our normal summon. We can't. That's it. Double contract burn. We do have to deal with the Ash. Ash onto the Zero King summon from the deck is going to be ideal as we search for our Lance Soldier. Normally a card that we would Foolish Burial. We are going to hit them with the Droll. No more adding from the deck here. With the Zero King, you got to Ash this. You got to Impulse, you got to Ash it, negate. Now, this is a 10 scale. This is a 0 scale. 0 to 10 equals Pendulum Summon. As many cards as we want from the hand, plus 1 from the extra deck. Gilgamesh, but with no effect. We have the Lance Soldier now in the graveyard, attempting to pop a Dark Contract to Reborn. Bell, negate. We don't have any other relevant effects to activate except if we link 3, and that is quite relevant. We could pop a Dark Contract to then allow us to Pendulum Summon again. Pendulum Summoning 2 bodies onto the field. First, we're going to trigger the Queen to summon itself on the field, pop a card on the field. 5,200 damage, enough for lethal, just like that. Let's go. Queen triggers only when a Triple D or Dark Contract is destroyed. So a mistake you'll have with this is if you're planning on this summoning, but you destroyed a Double D instead. That could be just the Orthros being destroyed and not a Dark Contract. If you try to trigger it with the Griffin destroying itself, that's not going to work. Let's keep on going. Let's see. 1 for 1 is our big and only play, and our only play has now been negated. This is going to be a turn 10 duel now, will it? All right, let's speed this up. Come on, Swag. You have a lot of 1-card combos. This is what's crazy. When both players brick, they're bricking because they have a lot of hand trap disruptions. And then you're going to get to a point where you finally draw a play and they're going to have 3, 4 plus disruptions for your 1-card play. And it's going to go back and forth. This will be a 20-turn duel. Coper, there we go. We got something. On summon sent for the deck. Nope. Negate. And we have a lot more negates where that came from. The Herald of Orange Light is now turned on. We're ready to negate a monster effect. That is our big play, which we have Impulse for. Ain't no way. Negate. Now, the purpose of Triple Tactics talent is if they use Disruption against you, you're able to further push through it with the Triple Tactics, not if they Impulse or Imperm. We got a Droll now. We have 0 attack on the Coper. We can't even slowly poke him down. As we refrain off the top of the deck, Imperm, negate. Oh, we get to further make plays, so not a special summon as we now make the Link to Bloom. With the Bloom, discard away the Herald of Orange Light, but of course there is an Impulse to not only negate, but destroy the Bloom. And somehow, our Triple Tactics is still not activatable. But we have Droll and Imperm. Fiend! You can't make any play! What the heck is going on? 2 Double D monsters. 2 plus Double D monsters. There's nothing we could do. The rank 4s require 2 level 4 Double Ds. Oh my Jesus. Refrain, grab the couplet as we Droll and Lockbird. Our Coper is just blocking Fool Loss. That's all it's freaking doing. 2 dead cards. We may as well set it on the field. Now, can any non-double D do anything? You could make a Clovis. So I thought about this. I'm like, is there ever a reason to pendulum summon a non-double D? A tuner plus a non-tuner does make the Clovis. You'll need the level 2 tuner plus the Fool Loss. Otherwise, you can't link with it. You can't Xyz with it. Let's go to, hey, turn 11. Not so bad. Game 3. You have Kepler, but Swag Key's got unlimited hand traps. Every turn 1, he's got 3 or more hand traps activatable. We still have the Herald of Orange Light. We have a Ghost Bell. This is nuts. Now, we have plenty hand traps too. We could Impulse, Imperm, Droll. We want to Impulse that. Now, the nuance here is that if the Impulse were activated from the hand, your Drone Lockbird would not be activatable for the rest of the duel. So it was important to set it. Let's further fuse. It can be scary to set your Impulse though when you're dealing with a Dracotail meta, right? And you may be thinking, well, Impulse can negate a Dracotail special summon if you set it, and I guess that is true. Negate the Botcha. Let's link it off into a gravity controller. Trigger the Botcha to reborn back in the field the Soprano. Soprano is going to be further triggering to add back the Sonata from the grave. Actually not a trigger, just add back. Goodbye to the Kepler. Necro Slime's not a play. No play. We do have plenty of one-card combos, which that is not. Listen, I swear this deck is consistent. I don't know what's going on here. We have 3 contracts that search. We have the contract that pops and summon from the deck, which could pop the Necro Slime. We have the Count Surveyor. We have Griffin plus the Necro Slime that could have been a special summon. There are so many different things we've freaking had. If I just bring this up to have a better showcase of that, let's bring up a recent deck list. 3 Queens. We play 1-for-1. If you play Dark Spirit Mastery, maybe we're not playing that. If you're playing the Field Spell, also probably not playing that. But those are additional ways if you feel the deck is not consistent enough to also play this. And if you're playing the Spirit Mastery, you could tech in a Lava Golem. 1 Lava Golem, as this main point of this card is to search for your 0 Doom Queen. What else do we have? We already used up the Coper, right? Griffin, a lot of people are on 3 Griffin. I'm surprised we're only on 1 Griffin within this build, right? I'm pretty sure I remember we played 3 Griffin. What the heck? This dude's on 3 Griffin, so that was just a choice for that player to not play 3. Now, if you can't tell, I've pretty much have written off this duel. This duel has been over for a while now. Herald of Orange Light. Negate. I mean, it was the set Necro Slime that ended it. Goodbye to the Coper. Now finish me. I'll finish myself off. Why, thank you. Let's hop in another. Oh, let's give the win to the right person. Okay. Get dimension shifting. What can Yummy do? Nothing. Okay. Well, I will just... See, this is fair. You ended my turn early. I attempt to end your turn early. As we normal summon the Saji, let's trigger the Futsu plus the Saji. Now you'd be thinking, is Dimensional Barrier good to be activated right now? It's only monsters while they're on the field. Do they get negated? Does not negate Habakiri from in the hand. Ritual. Disallow the ritual. Ritual summons are illegal. We do have 7 Tachyon to instead make our Xyz plays. Let's reveal. No, you do not. And guess what? You can't finger that Ash, but you can cross out Designate. Negate the Ash, and I guess Drex got blown out by Shifter. What's there to say beyond that? Shifter is pretty damn good. In Dimensional Barrier, unfortunately for Drex, not that I'm rooting for a Floodgate, but in this instance, it was a fair Floodgate because you Floodgated me first. It wasn't enough. Detach, search for the sword, can't node Reborn from the graveyard, but who cares? We have so many summons. Now, Ice Eel is illegal to summon. Can't summon it. We already used up our normal summon. We can't special it because it has to send a card to the graveyard. To battle, we go. Eclipse Twins cannot attack directly twice, only into monsters. Now, with this, we have the ability to pop 3 times. Very simply, get pop, pop, poppin'. Yummy special summon. Now, first setting up the Acro. What's going to happen here is if we deal with any monster by card effect, which is the Ryzeal Detonator, the Acro will trigger to then summon a monster from the deck. The problem is I pop you, and then you trigger, then I pop the card that's triggering, so it will just stop it anyway. Summon the Mimighoul Archfiend as we now activate the Cupsy Yummy Way. Triggering the field spell to pop a card in the field, which we could just pop the card that's trying to pop us. We can now chain the Cupsy Synchro to reborn 2 bodies in the graveyard, as we will do. As we're further searching our deck, Call by the Grave fingering the Snatchy now. This is a non-target reborn, and it doesn't have to reborn 2. It's up to 2, but Snatchy being fingered is a huge freaking deal. Because not only is Snatchy negated this turn, but you want Snatchy to be activatable during the opponent's turn. And the Cupsy doesn't even search because we use Cross on the resolution to detach negates. Marshmallow is attempting to add back from the graveyard the Crow, which, I mean, yeah, all right. Well, actually, it's playing from the deck that is, the Minion, because it was summoned from the graveyard with the effect of the Synchro. So it gets the additional effect of, from your deck or banishment, you get to play the field spell. This still doesn't mean anything. Dimension Shifter, that's what happened. Let's move on. Mimighoul Maker, who will loss it up. As we're trying to reveal 2 flip monsters, the opponent randomly picks 1 for you to special summon to their field. You are special summoning it, so you will give them a draw with the Fua Loss and the Maxi. All right, let's resolve it. I will draw 1, I will draw 2. Thank you. But that does work with the thrust. Since we give them a body, we could thrust any spell into our hand as the Ash negates. That's unfortunate, but we surely could play through this very easily. Well, I mean, we're under Maxi and Fua. Another draw 2. Freaking 4 drawn cards. They are up to 6 in hand now. We're still going. They're going to draw 1 from this, and then we end. See, against Fua Loss, it's not a big deal. You give them 1 draw for Snatchy, you still could special summon from the hand, you could still special summon from the graveyard. Maxi is where the issue happens. So with this field, we can pop with Cookie, we could pop with the field spell, we could flip 2 cards face down, we could return 2 cards with the surprise. About 4 forms of disruption. Pre-prep. Pre-prep, more consistently giving you access to the Murakumo to wipe away the Yummy field. We're going to be synchroing on resolution, Lollipo, triple, ooh, we didn't even activate the Lollipo. Okay, and now the triple tactics talent's activatable to look at the hand, return back. We didn't activate it, of course, because we don't want to reborn onto the field a negated Snatchy. It doesn't make sense, right? But then why didn't we just summon a Cupsy, search for Cookie, then discard the Cookie, and then in response to something, we could at least reborn a Cookie to pop a card in the field, or pop a monster, that is. Lollipo in response to the Mitsurugi Mirror. Snatchy is here. We don't have Herald of Arclight to even try to negate the Murakumo. And this is it. Is this chain link blocked? Yeah. If they had a Herald of Arclight, they would not be able to negate this. The Herald of Arclight would have to negate the mirror. Now, we're choosing to not chain link block it because there isn't a Herald, but if we wanted to, we would chain link block this. Randomly draw a card, and we're going to play the Crow field spell, which will trigger to now summon a monster from the deck. Mimighoul Maker, if your opponent special summons, we're going to flip up the Archfiend. Okay, interesting. Mind you, all these effects would be chain link block in your own Herald. Besides the Snatchy effect of Synchro, you could negate with Herald and still perform a Synchro. This Cupsy will search for nothing. Nada. But it's properly summoned, it's now in the graveyard, it's now rebornable with the surprise, so it's not for nothing. Wipe it away, trigger the field spell, summon from the deck. And that summon from the deck will be what? That's relevant. The best effects are only if summoned with the Synchro. The Lollipo could shuffle a card from the grave back in the deck, it can't banish it here. We are going to be forcing them to discard a card. The surprise could reborn back onto the field the Synchro. If we reborn the Synchro, I don't think we could do it, because if we reborn the Synchro, he just goes to battle phase. So there's multiple ways this counters this deck by being a big monster and non-target wiping away their fields. Lollipo, which we have not activated yet, but we're triggering the field spell to pop the Murakumo. We're just going to use prayers to dodge the pop. You're seeing so many ways that Mitsurugi is good against Yummy. dodging the pop, dodging the flip, chain link block and negate, non-target wipe away the field mate. Why didn't we reborn back? So what? If this card's attributed, I guess we didn't want to reborn. We're saving it for later? Huh? Okay. Duo Drive. Duo Drive, detach X-Raziel. It could be maybe for the X-Raziel. X-Raziel does not search the deck if you have a Murakumo face up. And if the Murakumo already board wiped, it already forced them to discard a card, why turn off the X-Raziel from searching? If that's the case, and it's already main phase 2. Sword searching for the star. X-Raziel is going to be able to search here. Aggregates a temporary negate. Recently, we know that the Scorpion's a permanent negate. Grab the node. Let's further Xyz into the Light Dragon. Pop a card in the field. Destroy face it. Now, this is interesting. Detach to non-target. So the key focus of how do you defeat Yummy, you want to non-target affect them because then they're not able to easily jump off the field and dodge your effects. Star Raziel, set up the cross. Let's further make the Eclipse Twins mates. Send to the graveyard with the node. Trigger the effect of the Eclipse Twins. Reborn back on the field, the Duo Drive. Drex, are you good? I mean, it is main phase 2. He's going to have many pops plus a negate with the field spell and a Murakumo field wipe. We're going to talk about all the disruptions soon. Ritual into the Futsu. It's going to make it near impossible for Drex to be able to break this field now. Drex, I'm worried for you. He's got pop, 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 pop. 5 pops, because when Eclipse Twins triggers Engrave to reborn the detonator, it's 2 more pops. And then we have Duo Drive, negate a monster effect. We have Murakumo Engrave, non-target wipe away the field of monsters, and force them to discard a card. And we have Purification, negate anything. That's 9 disruptions. Drex, what are you gonna do? Now here's a cool little tip. If you really need your Cup C to resolve to search your deck, a Crow is a chain link block. Normally, when you're going first, there isn't an ideal chain link block that's worth doing, but going second, you put this on the higher chain link of the Cup C, then they can't Ash it, they can't Baron to floor it, and they can't Purification negate it. Now, they can cross negate because you can't chain link block this mate. Can we play through 9? Yummy, Snatchy, yep, cross can still negate, of course. Futsu, reborn, the Kusanagi. Kusanagi, add back the ritual for next turn. Let's further make the cookie. This could be chain link blocked, but the croc could still negate it if we want to. Or can it? Well, so if we make sure this is popping the cross, then I guess we use the detonator to pop the pop that's popping it, then we still negate. What do we do, mate? But instead, we chain link blocked our own detonator. So what happened is it popped up on the screen, do you want a Futsu? It didn't ask, do you want a detonator? It says only, do you want a Futsu? You say no, and then you detonate, pop that in response, mate. Interesting situation we have here. So we're now losing the cross, and we're not able to negate. And the cookie successfully flips down detonator. What the heck is going on? How did we allow this to happen? Was Futsu Reborn Murakumo worth it? No. We could reborn it with prayers. We could reborn it later. Detonate pop field spell, cross negate cookie, I think was the play. Purification, negate the trigger effect of the Akrau to summon a monster from the deck. Negate. Holy misplay. If you have 9 disruptions, you can't misplay. You're gonna win automatically anyway, right? I think. Maybe not actually. Because now our 9 disruptions is what? I think we're at 0. What the heck happened? We had 5 disruptions on detonator, so 5 disruptions got flipped face down to 0. The cross was another. The purification was another. The double Murakumo were 2 more. That was 9. We're at 0. What? 0. There's no more. From 9 to 0. Wow. That's crazy. Actually crazy. But you'll understand how to have stopped this, right? You don't chain link block your detonate, you pop the field spell with the detonator, and then you just cross negate the cookie and you're good, right? Okay. We're also on Mimighoul. This is where I'm lost. I don't know what we're doing from here because we're Mimighouling. If we flip this up, I think it wipes away the whole field, yes? Kusanagi's protecting from destruction. Not today. He tried to destroy per face down card in the field. That would have been 2. As we now, Yummy Surprise, Reborn back in the field, the Cupsy. Cupsy searching for our cookie. Let's link this off so now the cookie is special summonable. Otherwise, it's not. You need a link 1 or a level 2 synchro. We're going to replace the field spell with the minion, which could further Reborn from Engrave. Reminder, my daddy can't do anything. He's got 0 plays. The prayers is going to do nothing. It doesn't not result in a disruption. Flip it up, non-target, wipe away all other face-up cards. Holy Mimighoul. Cupsy Yummy way on summon is going to be searching our deck for the Cupsy Yummy. So as I said earlier, not even chainlink blocking the Cupsy. We chainlink blocked the cookie, which was confusing enough to get them in the situation where our flip face down effect successfully resolved, and now we're winning the duel because of it. Crazy. Elf Reborn a Synchro. Like, this should not be allowed. I don't know why they didn't have the proper foresight. This says only rank/link to monster if the opponent controls a monster. This should say rank, link, synchro, fusion. Why did we freaking stop at just rank and link? Grab an ice, prayers. In response to prayers, we are going to be jumping off the field and then say no to ritual monster. It's not that you can't ritual summon, you can't special summon a ritual. So even though we're not ritual summoning from the grave, you are not able to reborn. As we're gonna burn for 800, that's not a ritual. We're just gonna Kusanagi, add back. We can still rank 4 Xyz though. Lolipo on the higher chain link. Very smart. We are going to be returning back the Murakumo. Let's now Elf in response to the Purification, which would be able to reborn the Murakumo if it weren't for the dimensional barrier preventing that from even happening. We're gonna reborn back in the field our Little Knight. Can we Exiton Knight theoretically is good against Yummy, right? If they don't cookie flip you down, that is. So if we can't even Xyz because we're flipped, damn, that's it. Dimensional Barrier did help. It helps a lot. We had multiple ways to reborn out the Murakumo, to put a lot of pressure onto Yummy. The non-target field wipe would be an absolute nightmare for them, but good job, 1-1. Normal Ice Rise Zeal, summon for the deck, our star, which would play the cross. So this is where Drex is thinking, where the heck's your cross? Of course it's in your hand. So the big trick was our own card blocked us. So as long as we don't, the Futsu messed us up. If we didn't even have a Futsu on the field, we would have definitely won game 2. Now our disruptions are gonna be negate anything. Negate an interaction with the deck with Ash. We could pop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 5 plus 2, we're at 7 disruption. We can negate with the Duo Drive and Field Spell, that's 8 disruption. And then the Murakumo could board wipe all the monsters, that's 9 disruption. And then we could force them to discard a card, making it 10. Now it's a weak disruption, but it's still something. 10 versus 9, we have a better board. Well, because the Ash is giving the 10th disruption now, good luck. Drex is thinking, I already did this once before, I just gotta do it again. Cupsy, wipe it out. Which now the Thrust is activatable to add any spell from our deck to our hand. The Ash can negate the Thrust, but the Call by the Grave can negate the Ash. Or we could just cross-negate the Search with the Cupsy in addition to wiping it away. Murakumo forced them to discard a card. We're now down to 7 disruption left. Discarding our finger! We need to finger the Ash or potentially finger the Murakumo. Oh boy. Futsu's gonna trigger. We didn't activate the Snatchy because we were afraid of the detonator wiping it off the field. Now we're gonna prayers, tributes off, search our deck, reborn back our Murakumo. First adding the mirror, and then non-target wipe away the Snatchy. If it was such a high priority to not activate Snatchy because you want to keep it on the field, let's make sure we can Murakumo wipe it out. And because you don't have Called By. So as much as you want to think that the discard effect of Murakumo is not that relevant, Thrust would have resolved. The Murakumo successfully stopped Thrust. Yeah. Couldn't do it again, unfortunately. Let's go to top 16.